Electric car drivers will be taxed for every single mile they drive in the United Kingdom. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. The Western world is increasing taxes pretty much constantly. It's very rare you see taxes go down, or at least across the board, right? And unfortunately, this is the case in the UK and Australia. The UK government has just detonated a policy bomb under Britain's electric car market. Hidden inside the Chancellor's budget announcement is confirmation that both EVs and plug-in hybrids will face a new per-mile road charge, marking the first time electric cars will, well, be taxed officially. After years of looking for a replacement for fuel duty as petrol and diesel sales fall, the government has shown what it's about to do. Britain is officially preparing to tax EVs for every single mile they travel, shifting them into the same revenue-raising category as combustion cars and cigarettes, even as it still claims to support the transition to cleaner transport. Is Britain really supporting the transition to cleaner transport if they're going to tax every mile you drive in an EV, which actually is a bit worse than it sounds? The reason it's worse is because you've got to keep a logbook, and keeping a logbook is quite onerous for a lot of people, myself included. Drivers of fully electric cars will pay quite a lot, actually, 40 cents per mile. And plug-in hybrid drivers will pay 1.5 pence, which is 20 cents per mile. So 40 cents per mile for an EV and 20 cents per mile for a plug-in hybrid. Now, I don't know if these numbers are wrong, and maybe it's 4 cents per mile because it sounds really high. But if these numbers are correct, and this is what we're seeing from the government, that's a huge expenditure. I mean, that's going to mean that the average driver is going to end up with a bill of around $340 every year, the average driver. But interestingly, it also means that plug-in hybrid drivers, considering the UK is a very small place, they can actually pay they get a 50% discount. I mean, a lot of plug-in hybrids now have more than 100 kilometers of range. So most people are only going to use that range on a daily basis. That means you're getting a 50% discount to buy a plug-in hybrid. Basically, the government is massively incentivizing buying a plug-in hybrid instead of buying an EV by making it half the price per mile. A driver covering up to 8,500 miles, 13,700 kilometers, will end up with a bill of £255, which is $336 or just over 500 Australian dollars per year. This is around half of what a combustion car driver would pay in fuel duty, they say. And that's their argument, saying, because you would otherwise be taxed for the fuel, this is what we should do. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of people in the UK, right? There's 69.23 million. So most of those people live on a small island, where my father was born, small island, and they live in pretty dense cities, And in these cities, there's still a lot of people driving around in petrol cars and diesel cars, and there's a lot of pollution in these cities from those cars. Huge. There's no more coal-fired power plants in the UK anymore. They're all finished. They're all ended, which is awesome. But people are definitely being poisoned by these diesel and petrol-powered cars. And guess what? That costs a lot of money. Health costs are huge. And I think the government is overlooking that fact. My solar and batteries. I've got a 50 kilowatt hour battery here, and I've got a big solar array. So I pay $0 for electricity. That's including charging my electric car. Resync Solar is the company that I used. I'll put a link to them in the description below. The Office for Budget Responsibility, OBR, estimates the plan will bring in £1.1 billion or $1.5 billion in the first year. A figure which could virtually double 2 years later, depending on how EV sales go. The thing is, their take-up will decline because of this new scheme. People don't want to pay this for every single mile they drive. That's quite a lot of money. So, the budget didn't include all the fine print. So we don't know the exact details yet. Important details as how the number of miles driven will be accurately logged, which the only way to do this is through a logbook. We'll find that out later though. But mileage-based charging is coming. It's going to kick in early 2028. Some US states, such as Oregon, already have mileage-based charging schemes, as does New Zealand, and Australia say that they're going to put something in like this in 2027, which in my opinion is extremely premature. Now, I do think EVs should eventually pay some sort of tax if we have to fund the roads, if that's actually true. It's actually not true in many countries that the taxes from fuel surcharge actually come from and help and actually go towards the roads. But anyway, let's say that this is fair. I get that, but I don't think you should tax EVs in countries where EV penetration is less than 50%. If it's over 50%, okay, I get it. We've already hit the tipping point. We're on the way. But when it's only in its infancy, it's like trying to kill off a new technology. To soften the blow and keep drivers interested in EVs, the UK government is simultaneously raising the price threshold for the expensive car supplement on its VED from 40,000 to 50,000 starting April 2026. That means a Tesla Model Y or Kia EV6 owner won't be hit by punitive road tax surcharges quite as quickly as before. To be honest, it doesn't make a lot of difference. But basically they're saying, here's a little carrot before you get hit with a big stick right in the face. Ministers will also extend the EV grant scheme, which offers subsidies of up to £3,750 all the way to 2029-30, costing it around 300 million per year. But it's only costing 300 million per year because it doesn't apply to a lot of vehicles. It only applies to certain vehicles, and depending on where they're made, they don't qualify. So if the cars are made in China, they don't qualify for EV subsidies at all. Anyway, guys, I strongly disagree with this. I think that the UK shouldn't bring in a tax based on a year or based on, oh, we need the money now. They should actually consider the health impact internal combustion cars are having. Huge numbers of people are dying. Thousands of people are dying every year based on actual researched clinical data from pollution, from cars specifically. So I think what they should be doing it is say, okay, once we hit 50% market share, once we hit a certain threshold, then we can get these taxes or whatever. But ultimately, it's really going to just hurt them, because if it means that EV sales do slow down, then it means that you guys living in the UK will have to keep on breathing in that shit air, and there's not much you can do about it. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.